Welcome everyone to the West End Opportunity Partnership Special Board Meeting.
Madam Chair, I'd like to
have
make a point of order.
Recognizing Mike Nagel.
So, like to make a point of order. According to our bylaws, section 3.9 states as follows. Special meetings of the board may be called by or at the request of the chair on the written request of the majority of the members of the board. First, Madam Chair, did you call this special meeting?
No, sir, I did not.
Second, did you receive written correspondence from a majority of the board members to request a special meeting?
No, sir, I did not.
So I think if we're in violation of our bylaws, any decisions we make here at this meeting would be invalid. And I think it would be best to adjourn the meeting.
Thank you, Mike, for your comment, but I'd like to call on our.
I'd like to hear from the chair, please.
I am.
Without a motion or a second or a vote.
Second that motion.
Motion's not required.
Amy, I think it's important for you to give advice at this point on how to call a special meeting and who's able to do that.
Yes. KRS 273-193 sub 3 allows the president to call a special meeting in addition to any procedures in the bylaws.
And what if our bylaws require the chair to call that meeting?
The statute reads that it is in addition to any procedures also stated in the bylaws.
This meeting is inappropriate.
And I will announce that as president, I call the special meeting. And as Amy indicated, that's permissible under state statutes.
And Mary can adjourn the meeting.
No, we are convened appropriately and legally. We'll go forward with the meeting.
I'd like to hear from the chair, please.
Amy, can you repeat what the statute says again?
Yes, KRS 273-193 allows the president to call a special meeting in addition to any procedures allowed for under the bylaws.
Given that that is part of the regulations, and seeing as you all have heard me say, I did not call this meeting and I did not get written notice from a majority of the members. However, it is stated that the president can call a meeting. Then we will go forward with this meeting. However, if anyone has anything to add to this, this will be your time to do so.
This is Lyndon. I do believe we are opening ourselves up to litigation on this, just because our bylaws do not specifically say that the president can call a meeting. And so it is in conflict with what the statute says, and in other places, our bylaws are allowed to supersede statute. So I think it's going to be an issue.
No one's bylaws can supersede state statute. Amy, I will need to call on you again for clarification now with Mr. Pryor speaking.
Yes, I just want to remind everyone on the board that our governing statute that outlines board membership, KRS 65503, subpart 11, requires that a member of the board shall abstain from action on an official decision in which he or she may have a personal or private interest, or if the member is affiliated with any party conducting business with the partnership. The person shall disclose the existence of the personal or private interest, and they shall absent themselves from the board. Is there anyone that has an interest to disclose?
We are aware of a private interest. That private interest involves Lyndon Pryor and the Urban League's efforts to purchase the NIA Center. That being the case, Mr.
The
Pryor.
Urban League has made no interest in acquiring the NIA Center. What are you
That is-
talking about?
That is the, not the information that we have when talking to Park.
I don't know what you're referring to. So what information do you have?
We would request at this time that Mr. Pryor be absent from the meeting.
Not without any factual information. So no.
It's required by the statute. We'll
Not
go
without any
forward.
proof.
We will go
You-
forward nevertheless with the meeting this evening.
It seems very inappropriate to accuse someone of something or bring something to the board without having any facts of the matter. And
Oh,
then,
hold on just a moment. We have some interference. That's interfering with the sound.
Did you hear the background?
this is David Carden. It seems very inappropriate to bring something like that to the board without any facts to present.
No,
And
no,
then-
there are facts. There are facts, and we
Not
need to
presented
tell
to us.
you that prior to this meeting, there was a discussion with Mr. Pryor's representative at the Urban League because he is out of town. We reached out to the individual who represented him as his proxy at the last meeting, and we explained the conflict to them. The conflict does exist. We have information from TARC to this effect.
Again, I am the president and CEO of the Louisville Urban League. Any information you have needs to come to me. So unless you're willing to present something today, then please move forward with the
It
meeting.
is coming to you during the meeting. But as I said a few moments ago, if you will not voluntarily absent yourself, we are still going forward with the meeting. So let's proceed. Could we have a roll call, please? Yes.
Sharon Allen,
Here.
Alicia Burns,
Here.
Dr. Douglas Craddock,
Here.
Kevin Fields, Jennifer Hancock,
Here.
Tammy Hawkins, Secretary Keith L. Jackson,
Present.
Deputy Mayor David James,
Here.
Darlene Johnson Jones,
Here.
Dr. Gabriel Jones Jr.,
Here.
Dr. Mary Milliner,
Present.
Michael Nagel,
Here.
Christopher Romaine,
Present.
Desmond Smith Jr., Kevin Smith,
Here.
Reverend David Snorden,
Present.
William Summers V,
Here.
Gary Williams, we have a quorum, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Madam Chair, we will proceed with the
Over
first
to
order of business.
Travis Smith, I believe it is. And Laura Douglas.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
I just got a call from Tammy Hawkins. She says she's once again having issues. She can see the screen, but no one can see her or hear her.
Thank you, Chris, for telling us that. We've been working with her today on her connection. We'll try to pull her over onto the screen from where she is. Thank you. Let's go forward with the presentation today. As you are aware, when the meeting was convened, was for the purpose of discussing the amended Goodwill Industries of Kentucky funding request. Travis Fox and I are going to present information now regarding the amended application. Travis, are you set?
Yes. Thank you, Laura. Can everyone see my screen okay?
Yes.
Currently, there's an addendum. There's an addendum to the original proposal. The addendum reads as, in addition to the terms outlined related to the purchase of the property at 2900 West Broadway, the partnership will contemporaneous with closing on the property purchase, provide a one-time payment of $5,000 to each non-governmental tenant of the NIA Center for the exclusive use and defraying cost of relocating their businesses. This is in addition to the binding promise of Goodwill Industries of Kentucky to provide cash assistance in the form of moving expenses and security deposits at new lease locations for tenants. And the offer of Goodwill Industries of Kentucky of Louisville Metro government to provide assistance in locating new lease locations within West Louisville. The partnership is saying they will also provide $5,000, correct?
Yes,
Beside the commitment that Goodwill and Metro government has made, correct?
yes, that is correct.
There was also a question on some of the tenants in the that will be allowed to move into the building. I will now read two letters, one from Walter Cooper, Goodwill's developing partner, and one from Goodwill. At the request of the WEOC Board, Walter Cooper Companies, Inc. and Goodwill Kentucky seek to clarify Section 9 applicant screening, page 14 of the tenant selection plan. We affirm Walter Cooper Company's letter to Travis Fox of June 18th, 2025. Individuals who are re-entering society from the criminal justice system and are registered sex offenders will be denied occupancy immediately. No person who is deemed to be a risk to staff or residents that reside at Opportunity Village will be allowed tenancy. Again, sex offenders are not permitted to live at Opportunity Village. Please let us know if you require any additional information. This is from Amy Luttrell, President and CEO of Goodwill. Then from Walter Cooper, their letter states, at the request of the WEOC Board, Walter Cooper Companies, Inc. and Goodwill Industries of Kentucky seek to clarify page 14 of the tenant selection plan. While Opportunity Village is a development for general occupancy for permanent housing, we will also give preference to individuals in recovery from addiction who have participated in a program, individuals re-entering society from the criminal justice system, or have participated in a transitional housing program that have worked with a career coach or case manager attending employment readiness classes, job placement services, and financial stability classes with the Opportunity Center or Donated Goods Retail Center or Operation Employment Preference and victims of domestic violence. For individuals who are re-entering society from a criminal justice system and are registered sex offenders will be denied occupancy immediately. No person who is deemed to be a risk to staff or residents that reside at Opportunity Village will be allowed tenancy. To phrase mitigation circumstances is the phrase mitigating circumstances is referring to other misdemeanors for non-sexual or non-violent offenses. Individuals that have other misdemeanors will be evaluated per person and per circumstance who have made a mistake in life but have done the time and rehabilitation. Again, sex offenders are not permitted to live at Opportunity Village. Please let us know if you require any additional information. Sincerely, Walter Cooper, Tammy J. Stansberry, Vice President of Development. That's it, Madam President.
Okay. Now, I know at our last meeting, there was a question regarding setback from the street. Do you have information regarding that, Travis?
Yes. According to Goodwill and the plans that have been put forth by Walter Cooper, here is where the new building will sit. As you can see, it is actually further back than the Goodwill Opportunity Center. There will be green space, a sidewalk in between, as well as trees. It's approximately 30 to 36 feet setback from Broadway.
Thank you, Travis, for that information. The significant addendum is that as part of our offer to purchase.
Excuse me.
Yes,
I'm sorry, Travis. I can't hear anything that you're saying. I'm not sure what happened. Everything was clear at first, and now I can't hear anything that is being said.
okay. Travis will repeat, Dr. Milliner. Let's try it again. Travis, say something so we can see if she can hear you.
Can you hear me, Dr. Milliner?
Dr.
Just
Milliner,
barely. If you could just speak up, I will listen very closely.
is this the microphone here, Tiana? Let's move that closer
No,
to.
the mic's right there.
Oh, it's right over his
Mhm.
head.
So,
Okay, just speak loudly, Travis.
Dr. Milliner, did you hear the two letters that I read? One from Walter Cooper, one from Goodwill?
I can hear you now.
Did you hear the first two letters? Dr. Milliner?
Yes.
She's muted. Did you hear the first two letters, or did you just miss the portion concerning the setback?
Let's try this, Travis. Can you email Dr. Milliner the letters? Is there any other board member who had difficulty hearing Travis? Is there anyone else who had difficulty?
I could hear him okay.
Okay, Dr. Milliner, can you hear me? Travis is going to email you the two letters from Woda Cooper. Are there any additional questions or comments from the board regarding the amended proposal?
I had some questions.
Let's see, I think we just got a message on the board too that Dr. Gabe has his hand raised. We'll move the letter down so that we can see folks. I think Gabe, Chris, and then Mike. I think that's how it goes. And also David Snarden has his hand up. Dr. Jones, would you like to go first?
Yes, sorry, I was having trouble unmuting. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna be as brief as I can be. I know we're on a tight time frame and y'all got stuff to do. I do too. So I just have several comments really quickly. My first concern is that maybe I just don't understand well enough, but it still seems to me we're tying up $2.1 million with no ROI for the foreseeable future, which is concerning to me. This still seems like it is ostensibly transitional housing because it's not clear how many units are reserved for folks who aren't in some form of transition. Another concern I have is that while residents have prioritized affordable housing, there was not a prioritization of housing with all of these extra constraints added onto it for various forms of folks in transition. I do want to be intentional about like humanizing folks who are in transition. I don't intend to dehumanize or to be cruel to folks, but I think to the extent that we are trying to stick with neighborhood residents' priorities, these were not things that were vocalized as priorities. This also feels very rushed to me. I understand that there are other folks who are pushing up against the timeline, but to me, that does not justify us rushing ourselves. And I know that, you know, there are good ways to spend millions of dollars. There are bad ways to spend millions of dollars, but I'm concerned that we are pushing towards the bad ways by spending $2 million in a hurry. That seems like something that just isn't a great idea to me. I think one of the things that would really help me is if Goodwill were willing to collaborate with community on design of this facility, collaborate with community on potential amenities that this offers so that there are uses for this for folks who live in the 9 neighborhoods right now, for folks who want to have a place that they can go to right now. And I think that it would also be useful if Goodwill could come to the table with some sort of agreement for how many of the units would be allocated for folks who are not in transition. Even though, again, those folks are important, those folks are human, they deserve care and compassion. But those are my concerns. Thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. Jones. Chris?
Yes. I've got about two or 3 minutes real quick. On March 16th, a letter from the partnership with Laura Douglas's signature attached rightly articulated that the initial $2.5 million request from Goodwill would, quote, restrict opportunities for other essential community initiatives serving the same population, unquote. The letter also emphasized the critical need for this partnership to, quote, prioritize the equitable distribution of partnership funds to support a range of vital nonprofits in the Parkland neighborhood, unquote. While the request was reduced to 2.1 million cash outlay through purchase, the fundamental concerns regarding the scale and impact of this allocation persist, while adding additional exposure to the risk of property ownership. Adding to this concern is the recent information from the last Finance Committee meeting indicating that our first payment from the state for the TIF will be less than $500,000. This figure is below initial expectations and underscores the imperative for stringent fiscal responsibility in the allocation of public funds. Given these financial realities, committing such a substantial sum to a single entity at this time, particularly in a manner that effectively constitutes a grant, warrants closer scrutiny regarding its alignment with our broader financial health and community development goals. Furthermore, it is very disheartening that, that this decision is unfolding as we approach Juneteenth, a day that commemorates freedom and economic self-determination. Our organization's stated mission is clear on our website, quote, by reinvesting and recycling money in the West End neighborhoods, we are able to use our funds to support existing businesses and allow more businesses to settle in the West End and thrive financially. This will kickstart economic development and provide opportunities to finance quality of life improvement projects upfront, unquote. The current action, which leads to the displacement of 13 minority businesses, even with the provision of $5,000 in displacement assistance, appears to be in direct conflict to our stated commitment to supporting and fostering existing local enterprises. We must ensure that our financial decisions genuinely reflect our dedication to comprehensive economic development that benefits all members of the West End, prioritizing larger scale projects at the expense of established smaller businesses risk undermining the very principles we aim to uphold. And also, I just received a text from a tenant in the NIA Center that said that LCCC has contacted them about moving into their venue, which therefore means that we have someone else on the board who should not be voting.
Thank you for your comments. Mike Nagel?
I believe Reverend Snarden was first.
All right. Reverend Snarden?
Good evening, everyone. I just have a few brief questions. Has anyone spoken to the tenants about what has been is up for consideration for them, and if that will suffice for their needs? As far as Goodwill is concerned, when I say anyone.
No, Goodwill hasn't been allowed to speak to the tenants as of yet because they're not their tenants. But that's why Goodwill put that statement out that we put on display during the last presentation.
Okay. Could you speak a little bit more on not allowed? Who's not allowing them to speak to the tenants? There's not a law or a rule. So when you say not allowed, what is the prohibition of them discussing?
By way of an explanation, the tenants are tenants of TARC. Their contractual relationship is with TARC rather than with Goodwill. So Goodwill has no basis to have direct conversations with the tenants. they can offer publicly of what they would like to do for them, but they cannot interfere inside the tenant relationship. That's why they're prevented from talking with them directly.
Could, when it comes to affordable housing, what definition is Goodwill using to determine what affordable is?
It's the percentage of the average median income, which in this case for this development is between 30 and 80% of the average median income.
Yeah, and once again, we're not really sure how many of those units will be allocated to anyone outside of Goodwill's programming.
Well, based on the income itself, the majority of those graduating the program set forth by Goodwill, I mean, we could assume that their employment rate and wage would be at a certain place, but there could be some that are at a higher place. That's why it's such a wide range between 30 and 80%. And it's fairly balanced in the fact that 26 of those units will be going toward 49%, 4 to 50%, all the way up to 20 at 50% as well. So there's not like the apartments just being said, we're gonna give only to those graduating from this program that may be at the lowest wage. The wage that people will be earning will vary.
Okay. And I'm just gonna be honest, that's real confusing to me. I'm not really sure if that gets at the question I had, but I think the question is we don't really know how many will be allotted for those that are not connected with Goodwill's program. The other thing, do we know if Goodwill has any type of anything written down about if they allocate this building, if there's any thought about minority participating as far as construction or design, and operation of new developments, if there, no, federally speaking, I think there's about 30% has to be allocated for minorities. What does Goodwill have any ideas or any
Yes.
participation from minorities in construction?
The participation requirements are set forth in the criteria for fund eligibility, which this board adopted sometime last year. And Goodwill has signed off on that acknowledgement. For the Opportunity Center itself, they were upward of over 40%, and for employment, 60% participation. And they've already engaged, Walter Cooper has, with 3 of their main contractors being MBE, WBE, and DBE certified, and that trend will continue.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Snarden. Mike Nagel.
Okay, so I'm trying to share my screen, but I guess sharing's turned off. Can we turn that on?
I'm at a loss because I don't know how to operate that.
It's up to you, Madam President.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay.
Hold on a moment, Mike. Someone
right.
is activating it.
Thanks.
Okay, so I need to.
Okay, try to do it now.
You have the electrician on staff. He's checking the load, so it may be, oh, there it is.
So this is a letter that signed by Laura that we sent to Goodwill back in March. Laura, do you remember sending this letter?
Yes, and that letter is inside the working file that all board members have access to once a matter goes through the finance committee and comes to the board.
Okay. So I've got this part highlighted and it says, and Chris noted this as well, that while we acknowledge the significance of your $2.5 million funding request, we must prioritize the equitable distribution of partnership funds to support a range of vital nonprofits in the Parkland neighborhood. A concentration of this magnitude would restrict opportunities for other essential community initiatives serving the same population. So I know the request for purchase price is reduced to $2.1 million, but do these constraints and concerns listed in this letter not still exist under the new proposal?
Character of the transaction has changed. Initially, Goodwill was asking for a grant. We are now acquiring a property interest. It's not a grant.
But our cash position is reduced by $2.1 million and locked up for 99 years. We can't spend that equity like cash, correct?
That's your assertion.
Okay, but I think it's a reasonable assertion. We can pretend that an asset under a land lease can be, liquid, but it's not. I think this was a bad deal in March. It was a bad deal for WEOP last week, and it's a bad deal now.
Thank you, Mike. I think next is Kevin Fields.
Yeah, thank you, Laura. First, let me just state the obvious. I'm Kevin Fields. I'm President and CEO of LCCC, and I'm new to this board. This is my second meeting. My first meeting was last week at the special meeting. And prior to that, I had learned about this particular project 2 days before I was invited to attend that special meeting on last week. And so I've been attempting to get myself up to speed on all the issues that I need to be up to speed on, just to feel certain that I've done adequate due diligence to make a good decision. I did vote last week in favor of the proposal, and I will explain that vote. Although I'm new to this board, I'm not new to the partnership. I've been aware of the emergence of the partnership since it was in legislation. I had the opportunity to work with Senator Neal and Representative Stevenson as they were leading the legislative process, and to help facilitate just some community conversation around this, just to entertain input, even before the organization got set up with staff and with a board and so forth. And from there, I've been following from maybe a distance the issues that come before this board. So let me just state that I appreciate my colleagues for their comments, and I think this is a great feat of community dialogue, community engagement on an important decision. I'm reminded as an urban planner that this is a policy decision that has long-term implications. It's literally a 100-year decision. So it does merit, good, thorough vetting and consideration from people that are affected by it. Especially want to commend Dr. Gabe Jones, because I echo a lot of the sentiments that he presented earlier. I won't restate everything that Dr. Gabe mentioned, but I do agree in spirit with that concern. But here's my final point. I have done some research and I have shared some of that preliminarily with our leadership, as well as with spend some time with Laura talking about it. I also want to thank Travis Fox for spending time with me today and discussing my questions with respect to this. I have reached out to Amy Luttrell over at Goodwill because some of my questions I thought could be best responded to by her. And part of it was just doing due diligence around understanding more about the development partner, Walter Cooper, because up until last week, I had never heard of them. And, you know, the first time I heard of them was at the last week's meeting. So I just want to know, who are they and how did they get to this place of being the selected development partner with Goodwill? Along this line, I think Amy can best respond to that. I don't know what due diligence was already done, but Travis did a great job of bringing me up to speed on the vetting that he has been engaged in. And I certainly want to commend him and for doing a great job with that. My research on Walter Cooper brought to the surface some questions and some concerns just in terms of their capacity and their experience. I know that they're well established. I know they've got a strong footprint in dealing with affordable housing development as well as management. But in looking at some of their online information, they're just like, you know, most of us that deal with affordable, maybe low income housing, there's always a mixed bag of the kind of feedback you get. And there was a substantial amount of negative commentary about their customer service, about their responsiveness, about, you know, the whole property management relationship with their tenants, as well as their resident services and so forth. So it just made me pause to say, okay, do we know enough about them to make a 100-year commitment with them? And how did that relationship come to the table to begin with? And was it, you know, inclusive enough to merit this kind of investment? So I wanted to just put that out there because for me, that's still a set of unanswered questions. And just to preface the vote, having voted in favor of this, I'm really feeling like we need more time. I really want to support this, the leadership and this organization. I wouldn't have accepted coming onto this board if I wasn't in favor of what the mission is this was created for, and that how important it is to West Louisville from an economic development standpoint for a few decades into the future. So we're still getting off to a good start here, but we still got to do things that help this organization and its purpose to be sustainable. So I understand the unrest that some have about it, and it's merited. It is founded in good concern. I think it does require additional time. So all that being said, I do want to just respond. Colleague Chris Romaine mentioned our organization in his comments. Just to point of clarification there, I or my organization specifically have not reached out to any of the tenants. We do have a leasing agent, G. Starks Realty, that manages the leasing of our properties here from a commercial real estate standpoint. And William Starks is likely, because he's always promoting our properties to potential tenants, probably have, and I would be probably certain if it was done, it was probably done through that way. But if that in of itself is enough to constitute a conflict, I don't have an issue of abstaining because, again, for all the other reasons that I mentioned, I think this decision does need more time, and it does merit the dialogue that it's getting. It's a long-term commitment that we're making. I like the idea of affordable housing. My last word is in the research with WODA, I'm looking beyond their capacities to administer affordable housing. And this is just a rhetorical question. This is, in addition to it being affordable housing, this is special purpose housing, as was cited earlier in Dr. Jones's comments, as well as what's in the plan. We're talking about some level of transitional housing aimed at special needs populations, and there's no indictment in my comment about the population. It's more a question of the capacity of this a property management group to work with reentry issues, to work with substance abuse recovery, to work with workforce transition. These are just questions that I think merit vetting and responding to. No indictment either way, but I just think there's enough time that needs to be paid to this in order to make a good rational decision. So I'll stop with that. Thank you all for that.
Thank you, Kevin. Councilwoman Hawkins.
Thank you. So I just received an email at my office, respectfully showing that, Mr. Fields has just as much interest in this property too. So I think that we need to, be clear on, understanding who else has interest. And that will be in everyone's email. Just got sent to my email. So I just sent it out to everybody else's email via text, with, I guess, him and someone that is the tenant. But I just have a few questions and anyone that I can answer. Has the WEOP has anyone on our board contacted the near tenants?
Yes, there are two, it looks like two board members have raised their hands in response to the question.
No. I mean, in like director or Miss Rita.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Not board members, but like
no, we
leadership.
have not spoken to them directly.
Okay. I wanted to also know, understand, when did TARC become the leaseholder? I thought Metro Government was the master leaseholder.
No,
Yes, I was getting ready to jump in. TARC owns the property. It is leased to Metro. Metro then the tenants or sublessees of Metro. So that you're correct. And Reverend Snarden also sent that message, and I was going to jump in at some point, but I didn't cut you off.
That's fine. I just wanted to be transparent in making sure that I knew what I was talking about.
You are
Thank
correct.
you. All right. Thanks. That'll be all. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there a motion on the matter?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Sorry, there are still people with their hands up.
Mr. Pryor, you heard my comments earlier regarding your participation.
Yeah, your comments are nullified because you haven't provided any reason for me not to vote. So, and it certainly doesn't nullify me from making comments.
Mr. Fields, you have your hand raised.
Just as a point of clarification in response to Ms. Hawkins' comment, I don't have interest in the property. I have not approached anyone, and she made reference to me particularly. I think I clarified that we have a leasing agent who very well may have, because he shows the property, but I think that applies to anybody who has commercial real estate that may have someone who's trying to show their property.
It's no different.
I don't have any personal interest. In fact, I'm a strong advocate for the tenants that are currently there as business owners and have no interest in seeing them being forced to be displaced. That being said, I yield because I just want to respond to that for clarification purposes.
Thank you. Are we ready to vote? Would you call the roll, please?
I have still not been heard.
Sharon Allen.
I'm confused here. I'm confused.
Who is speaking?
This is Sharon Allen.
Ms.
Sharon, the motion that's on the floor is for approval of the amended proposal. And the amendment has to do with the $5,000 payment to each tenant to assist with moving. May I also say that prior to voting, everyone needs to turn their cameras on. Our council usually reminds us of that.
Yes, as long as it's on while you vote is what we need.
Yes, Miss Allen, has your question been answered?
No, I vote no. I vote no.
Please call the next person.
Alicia Burns. Alicia Burns. Alicia, are you on the screen?
Let's go to the next person and come back.
Dr. Douglas Craddock, he was on the airplane. Dr. Douglas Craddock. Kevin Fields.
I will abstain for the reasons that previously stated, but also to add, just for clarification, it does concern me the apparent rift with our friends at the Urban League. And I think those matters need to be addressed ahead of this going forward, because as I heard earlier, there's comments about litigiousness that I will be concerned about.
We're taking your
Jennifer
comments into account, but we're in the middle of voting now.
Jennifer
Thank you.
Hancock.
Yes.
Councilwoman Tammy Hawkins.
No.
Secretary Keith L. Jackson.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor David James.
Yes.
Darlene Johnson Jones.
Yes.
Dr. Gabriel Jones Jr.
No.
Dr. Mary Milliner. Mike
No.
Nagel.
Did you hear me, Rita?
Oh,
Milliner,
That was
Dr.
no.
Mary Milliner.
Dr. Milliner voted no.
I had no. Michael Nagel.
No.
Christopher Romaine.
No.
Desmond Smith Jr.
No.
Kevin Smith.
Yes.
Reverend Snarden.
No.
William Summers.
Sorry, yes.
Gary Williams. Not here.
is not.
Okay. All right, so Alicia Burns
No.
and Dr. Douglas Craddock Jr.
Announce the vote.
6 yeses and 9 noes.
Thank you, board members. The matter has been defeated. Are there, if there are no other issues to be taken up at tonight's meeting, is there a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all for your attendance. Good night.
Good night.